Make some noise for Peyton!
Okay. When I say hey, you say ho. Hey.
Ho.
Hey.
Ho.
When I say Peyton, you say Brock. Peyton.
Brock.
Peyton.
Brock.
When I say redistribute, you say the wealth. Redistribute.
The wealth.
Redistribute.
The wealth.
Death to capitalism! So the other day I was driving and I saw this car and it had a bumper sticker on it that said, "Make tea, not war." And I thought that was hilariously ironic because, you know, most of history, like if you don't know, so many wars were started because of tea and tea trade and overall trade. Like American Revolution, tea was involved with the start of that. The British colonization of China was involved in that. Same thing with the British colonization of India. Basically anywhere the British had a colony, there was a war and it involved tea somehow. So yeah, it's not gonna stop war anytime soon. Speaking of societal problems, a lot of the older generations think that like video games, they're the source of all these problems and violence. But I think it's actually, you gotta take one step back. Video games aren't the gateway to violence and other things. Board games are the gateway to bad things. Now let me give you some examples, I'll prove my point. Monopoly, obviously, a gateway to being greedy and bad forms of capitalism. Same with Sorry, the game that's name is literally you sarcastically saying sorry to the friend you just screwed over. Operation, gateway to practicing medicine without a license. Let's see, what else? Guess Who, gateway to racial profiling. Risk, gateway to imperialist fascism. But the worst of all definitely has to be Battleship. The game where your goal is to kill the hundreds of people manning a rival fleet of ships. Because when I think fun, I think something on the scale of Pearl Harbor. I'm just kidding. The game that's the worst gateway is Sorry, because it's a gateway to being a huge nerd. Shout out to my other huge nerds in the room. Let me hear you. Yeah, that's the response I expected. We all have social anxiety. Speaking of that, I don't like making eye contact. Even up here, I don't like making eye contact, you might have noticed. It's like when I make eye contact and I hold it and keep holding it, it's like I get this burning sensation in my brain. It feels burning, uncomfortable. And in that regard, it's kind of like an STD, only except I didn't get it from unsafe sex. I got it from years of low self-esteem, isolation, and anxiety. This next bit, these aren't jokes, these are just interesting thoughts that I've had recently, and I figured I'd share them with you. I want to make an all-puppet remake of Seinfeld and call it Seinfeld. I don't know about you guys, but I really want to know what happened to Ben Folds 1 through 4. Speaking of music, my favorite song by Prince, rest in peace, my favorite song by Prince is My Dad is a King. That one is so stupid and I love it. Let's see, Pokemon is just dogfighting but more colorful. I don't want to have kids, but if I ever end up having a son for some reason, change my mind, whatever, I want to name him Dewey, but I want to spell it D-U-I. Because I think the idea of you ruining a child's life just by how you spell their name is absolutely hilarious. What else? Ice. Ice is just edible glass. My favorite instrument, this is the last one. My favorite instrument, the electric chair. Sorry, let me be more specific. My favorite instrument of death, the electric chair. Speaking of dying, how many other true crime and serial killer fans do I have in the room? Yeah, the loss of human life. Yeah. I'm just, that's true, but at the same time, I'm a huge fan of that stuff too. I have been for a while since I was a kid. I watched CSI and First 48 and Forensic Files, all that stuff. Because even as a kid, I had to see the suffering of others to feel something inside. However, in all of this observing of serial killer and true crime facts, I've realized a pattern, a common trait, if you will, between serial killers. And it's very interesting, and I think it could actually be helpful. So let me explain it to you. So take, for instance, Ed Gein, he's known for killing people and eating them, but he also would take like their body parts and stuff and make like furniture, like he'd make like lampshades out of skin. And then we've got John Wayne Gacy, known for, he was a clown, but he also killed people. But also he did paintings. And then of course Jeffrey Dahmer, after he'd kill and eat people, he'd like take their head sometimes and use it as decoration for this altar in his apartment. So what all these have in common? All of these serial killers are fans of interior design and home decor. Now, how can this be used to our benefit? Well, you want to catch the Zodiac killer finally in 2019? Well, I got the solution for you, all right? You just gotta go and find the only man, 60-year-old plus man, who shops at Pier 1 Imports. Because that is gonna be the Zodiac killer, and that's how we're gonna get him, because you damn well know no other man over the age of 60 is in a Pier 1 Imports ever. Thank you, I'm Peyton Brook.